Okay, so nimefanya some changes but nime revert back so that I can at least show you what I did, and also ulikuwa umesema ndio hata nikupea kitu ya kufanya. So I've been doing two things. One, imekuwa ni database and I have it here. It is the database. I'll explain a few because kuna vitu nimeongeza na kuna vitu nimeomit, and I'll tell you why. So these are just three tables. These are the ones I'm going to use. Then in the system itself, I have done a number of changes. First, for the users, our employers, managers, and other users, create a folder. Let me just log in. You see what I'm talking about. How these three options, they are not in a folder, so it was a little bit confusing between house manager, umeandika kama manager, and these are the manager users. Then there are a few things you're going to change because for system you're using two different names for same individuals. We are calling house manager and you're calling them girls at the same time. I know for your case you may say a girl is mwenye bado hajakuwa house manager, akikuwa house manager anakuwa house manager, but for a system either way it's still the same. So I'll call it house manager, but I'll want to change it to girls. I want it to change to girls. So house manager could just a term unatumia kwa front end, but back end knows girls, so that it can be easier to name things and also for the system also to navigate. All right. So what else have I done? I have also added another page. And this page will be added to every other page. So if you come to managers and you click add a new member, I've added another page where you can fill in. And again, I'm just I've picked this from the template yenye bado iko sijaitoa bado. But of course with a few modifications because when I picked it, it wasn't looking like this. So I just picked with how exactly I want it. Then I've edited it to look like this with these fields, 6 of them. Then there's a button here. When you click save details, it's supposed to save details. Yeah, and of course it does some checking. So that page is here. That page is here. But I'll push this thing so that you can see. That page is here. Hii nimeongeza haijakuwa kwa hizo other pages, but it's added so that you can have back for mobile view. When you do like this, there's an option for back instead of a button here for adding new cause. Yeah. What else? Let me show you again. So I created a route for it. It's here juu hii get. It's here in employers. It's here. Add users because nearly create another folder called users, and this folder iko hapa views dashboard. Then there's a folder called users. Nikaweka hii add user, which is this one, the one you're seeing. Yeah, then of course, because it will be a form, we just go back to what you do in HTML. We have a form input here, and because we are using method post for Laravel, it requires you to add this, add CSRF. If you don't add this one, if you try to add your form, itakuwa inakuletea something expired or something. Yeah, it doesn't. It's just for security. So the form is here. It goes all the way down here. Why is it? It's here. It's closing here because the button is here. The button is here to submit, save your details. Yeah, but we shall do this repeatedly. For now, we are not doing that. So this one, I want to use this one to add users or managers or staff for database. And remember, these are the users who will be logging in. So I picked this from whatever you gave me. They'll need a name, which is a username. They'll need their full name, their email, their phone, role, or department. And this is only the one which will determine when they log in what they see. Then we have status, either active or inactive. It's not really must for us to put, but we should just put in case one day you'll need that when someone is off with Kaizen. Then of course they'll need a password because these are the users who will be logging in. either kama ni normal staff ama manager, they'll be logging in, so they'll need a password, which I think tutaconfigure ikuwe ina generate automatic from the system. Good. So these are the details that will be needed for database. So in Laravel, and I'm doing this while introducing database. In Laravel, you actually don't do SQL per se, unlike crude PHP. Here we use something called Eloquent. So Eloquent, it's an easier, so you don't have to cram SQL commands or really understand SQL. So the first thing I'm going to do, and you're not going to do this because I'm going to do it once. First thing, you'll come here kwa database. Right now we are using SQLite. SQLite, we usually don't use it for production. So I'm going to uncomment this. This one is called nv.env file. It's called environment file. Then I'll change database from SQLite to MySQL, like so. Why are we doing that? You're telling Laravel that I'm using a database management system called MySQL. This is the host. Of course, it's local. Tukipeleka online, we shall change some of these things. Port for MySQL is usually 3306. Database, we'll call it Zaria. Default user for and password for XAMPP is usually root and no password. So these are the ones that we're going to use. So you change this one. This environment file is very important. I'll also make sure that your application name is Zaria. It doesn't do anything major, but for now, but later you may need it, so it's just good to change it to Zaria. What else? So these are the database configurations that are required and not any other. So in Eloquent, so I'll save this one, then it has already done that by itself, so it can restart. So this is how you set it up. Then now after you have your database now, it's time for you now to start creating tables within that database. And this will be, there are some of the tables you're going to create. You're going to create one for users, for clients, for girls, for placement, and much more, the ones you sent to me. Then some of those tables you realize they are not really actual tables. They actually, for example, your table placement is picking information from clients and some information from girls table. So it's not really a table per se, but we are going to create it anyway. Then we let Laravel just do the picking of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to create these 3 tables. If time allows, I'll go ahead and complete. So for staff, this is what I want to do. I want to make sure I can add a staff because that is the first entry for system. Me add. Once I'm sure it can add, I'll come and populate so that this name is an actual name from a database, same as to this email. And if you come to profile details, it can pick these things from your database, and it can actually populate here. Yeah, and someone can be able to update and change the information accordingly. So yeah, I'll come back to add users. So I'm not dealing with the front end a lot. I'm just let it just stay there. So in Laravel, there are 2 things. One, you create something called migration. What is migration? Migration is now the table that will be formed for database, and fungua database uone venye huwa zina create. Then once you have a migration, you link it to something called a model. A model now ndio itakuwa inafanya the SQL stuff, like pulling data from the database to your front end and picking data from front end to database. It's model that ina manage here. It's like an mediator iko in between. For example, when I fill this form and I click save details, these details should be taken to the database. So it's upon the model to know if those details are filled here are allowed to go to database. But I'm going to do it. So first thing first, you'll need to create two things, migration and model. You can create those things either at the same time, or you can create them separately. But the best method is to create them at the same time. Why at the same time? Creating them at the same time allows you to have like a clear view of the same, and also peer just to make sure that how you create migration bila model, or you have a model without migration, yeah, and also because so that they can also have the same name. Okay, just kidogo. Okay. So nimerudisha, acha ni close kila kitu. Let me just close everything. Even draft, I'm not going to use it now because I'm not dealing with backend. The project looks like this. So so I'm going to create, let me start with users. But for users, already there's a migration I'll show you. So migrations are found hapa kwa hii folder into database, migrations. You'll find it here. It's called users table. If you open this, you'll be able to see this is the table, and it will be called users when it's created. And this is a one-time thing. Once the table has been created, even if you come and delete the migration, it won't do anything to Laravel. The project will still run. So this is a one-time thing. Then the table will have these fields. By default, we create project Laravel huwa inakucreatea hii. Yeah, but we are going to edit so that we have our own. And please note the similarities and the difference between this and the actual MySQL. So string is data type. Then inside here the name is name for the database. Just a moment. Someone making noise here. I was saying I'm going to show you similarities between this migration and how SQL does it. So we have name. Then also, when you're doing this, as much as you're not using MySQL, you make sure you observe the rules of MySQL. Like things like reserve them, don't use them. For example, there's a field here. I think other girls, I will call it primary. It's primary school they attended to. If you call it primary is a reserved word in MySQL, so itakuletea errors. Kwa Laravel haitakuonyesha error. Laravel kila kitu itawaka. But once you start dealing with database, you'll find it's not fetching, or it's fetching half, or just something, and you really don't know what's happening. It's because you overlook an error in MySQL, and you know MySQL won't tell you. Laravel won't tell you because it's not its error. So you just make sure that you follow strictly the rules of MySQL. If you're not sure if you know all the MySQL rules, you can just go out to, what is the best site someone can learn MySQL? W3 schools, yeah, they have a very good fresh course. So you can just take like an hour or 2 hours just to refresh yourself on MySQL. Yeah, so that when you come here, you don't go against. So this first field called ID, this is usually the primary key. Ijaandikwa, yes, but Laravel, when it names a field ID, MySQL will know that that ID one is primary key, and two, it's auto-incrementing. So I'll change name. Also is also a reserved name in MySQL, but it may allow you to some extent to use it. So I'll let mine called uname for username, and I'll just copy this one and use it again. Then I can have fname for full name. Then you try as much as possible to use short names. Why short names? Because short names will make your work easy, and also you'll make easy for the software to, like, for the system to be able to fetch things. Like ukiwa umetumia majina mrefu pia na itakuwa inang'ang'ana, it takes time. But if you use short names, it will be faster for it. So it's faster for you to code, and it's faster for the system to operate. So feels like primary school attended. You don't have to write primary school attended. That is way long. You can just call it pre. Ama near a school. There are some kama ama WhatsApp number. Unaona nimeandika kama what's num, which is still again very long. I can just call it WNUM for WhatsApp number. Full name is realize I've called it FNAME, ID number I've called it ID. Okay, natumia the wrong table. Utaniuliza mbona hiyo sio? I'm creating this one. Yeah. So hivyo. Then I'm going to add some few fields just in case tumesahau kitu sijui nini. So unique means hakuna mahali mtakuwa mnaweka email ya mtu inafanana. Nullable means it can be blank. Then this one is not nullable. So first name has to be filled. I'm going to fill other things that you have not given me, like gender. I'll just call it Jen. Tab for autocomplete. I'll just call it Jen. Which other field I've not included? So I have name, if name, email, role or department, and status. So I'll create one for role. I'll just copy this one. In a role, so role is not a real, it's a 4-letter word, so I can use it. Or I can call it type, but role is still okay. Then I have status. Status ziko. Password already ilishatengeneza because it knows the user's table is for those who are logging in. What else? Let me see. So kuna zenye sijaweka hapa. But the fact that I write it doesn't mean you have to show it kwa front end. It's good for it's good just in case one day you'll be like, no, let's start picking genders. You don't have to go and start redesigning everything on database. You just go and start using it. That's why I'm saying they are nullable. Nullable means it can take blank right now, but later we can start filling with something if will be required to. I don't see any other that nimeacha. Yeah, there's one for ID number for your staff. I just add it after this one. I don't know why you've left it out. I'll call it ID num for ID number. So this, how your table is going to look. It's going to have these fields: email, ver, password. Hizi si mimi nimeweka, hizi ni Laravel imeweka because it knows they're usually required for later, but they're also nullable kama hii. Timestamp huwa inaweka, so don't interfere with that. So immigration sija create, isha create. Mimi nimekuja tu kuedit. Models are usually found in this folder called app, HTTP. Instead of controllers, I'll go to models. Do you see models? Wait, did you delete that folder? HTTP is here. Kidogo. Ni kama ulidelete hiyo folder ya model. But no problem. I think I can just create it. I think maybe we can delete controllers because it's usually in this app HTTP folder. I think when you're deleting a controller or something, you deleted it. Oh yeah, that's very important. So let me just recreate it again. So PHP artisan, this is the command for creating models. Make model, and I'll call that model user. Even the way inaitwa yeah, but you deleted the folder. It's supposed to be there. And right now the system is becoming big, so when you're doing something, just make sure you're sure, because if you delete something, we may end up getting an error and we don't know why. So the model is called user, like that. So I'll just let it, let's see if it will recreate it again without giving us errors. Ikikataa, we'll have to start this project again. Why is it not creating? So the model is here, but but it's not the model. Nimekumbuka. Unakumbuka nikikwambia usijisumbue na vitu za database. I think that's the time we created this house manager because I'm saying it's a model. I think hii ndio time we deleting ile folder and amp model. So let me see if I can just create the folder manually kama itakubali, but it should not be the case. The folder is usually called models. Yeah, that was the folder that so I'll delete these users that I've just created. Now you recreate because you don't need it. Then I'll come and try again to create the same model called user and see if it will put it in the same folder. I think it has. Yeah, imekubali. Oh shoot, manzi. Hii ingekataa tungeanza project upya. Okay, fine. So I'm going to copy the way it usually is, then just show you because hii kitu inakuanga already inakuanga imecreate. We usually don't. Okay, so this is how it looks like. No, this is the wrong one. This is the one I've just deleted it. I'll just close it. Don't say. Just highlight, delete everything, and paste that one. So this is how it looks like. You usually have these fields on there. So you can create a video in inajiita app model, so that folder has to be there, very important. Then it has all this stuff. Please don't worry about them. The only thing you're concerned about a model is this part of protected and fillable. Unaona hizi field umeziweka hapa hizi zenye wewe umeongeza mwenyewe hizi uname, fname hizo nakuja unaziadd hapa so that the model can connect them. If you don't add it here, ukijaribu kuadd kitu kwa database haitakuwa inaongeza because the model doesn't know if that field is required. Model ni kama nilikwambia ni mediator, it gives permission. So if you haven't, it won't know. So I'll just call this one uname. I'm using autofill, so it will just give me everything like that. So this field F name, phone number, ID number, gender, role, status, email, all these are here. And again, hii model ni yenyewe imenicreatea. So there is actually zero reason for me to start, coming to understand. Don't worry about understanding these things for now. Just do them. With time, you'll start getting them. For example, this part here, authenticable, it means this model or this database or this table in that database has been given the right by Laravel to authenticate users. That means you can use it for login. So in Laravel, you can't just pick any table and say, wacha we are login hapana. You have to make sure you have configured that table for them. So it will have things like this. It will have things like this, protected and hidden just for security. It will have things like this. Otherwise, a normal table doesn't have all these shenanigans here. It doesn't have. It's just this and that only. And a notifiable, if you need to add email later so that when users you create account, the users are notified by email. Yeah, it's all there. Okay, so we have already have a migration here, and you filled all the tables we need for a database, and we have our model here again with the same protected and fillable just for security. So once I do this, I can go ahead now and create our database. Again, this one you'll also have to do it. PHP artisan migrate. So this one will create PHP. There's nothing to migrate. Do I have a database with the same name? Let me just check. If it's saying nothing to migrate, it means there's already a table, a database with the same name that does exist there. So let me just check for you. Then I'll go ahead and create the next one, the migration and the model. Then I'll let you create the rest. So once we create the rest, then we can now start filling the database. as the next step. Zaria. Nope, it is not here. So it means I'm still using SQLite. So let me check this environment folder. Making sure everything is okay. So it's my SQL reports. Okay. Let me undo. Let me do some configuration clear. Good. Connection SQL. Generate SQL unknown database. Zaria. Okay, good. Now let me repeat that. Oh yeah, it's now working. So let me show you now. So if you do anything in .env file, you need to do this. You need to do php config clear and php cache clear so that you can refresh. Otherwise, inaweza kosa kupick hizo changes umemake. So I'll go ahead and just write php migrate. Then this one is telling me the database does not exist on my SQL connection. Do you want to create it? Oh yes, I want to create it. Then it will go ahead and create for you these three tables for these three migrations. So if I refresh this one, I should be able now to see Zaria. It's here. And you can see all these tables imetengeneza. Hizi zenye zingine imetengeneza, usiachana nazo. Don't edit, don't delete. Hizo ni za Laravel. How it uses them, it's up to it. If you delete one, you'll interfere with something. Yetu imekuwa hii moja inaitwa users. And you can see these are the fields we created. But kuna hizi imeongeza created, updated, hizo za Laravel again. Just leave them. Don't edit. So you can see ID is primary key and auto increment. Zenye sisi tuliongeza zile tuliweka zikuwe null, they're here. Nullable. Email is unique, it's down here. Yeah. So already share to create here, so we don't have to come to database and start going to SQL and creating database and database table. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and create the next one. Then the remaining one that I create. But please remember, use unaweza tumia as short names as possible, and names that, so if someone looks at it, if you are developing the same people, you can be able to understand what it means. So let me go ahead and create the next one. And the next one I'm going to create ni I'm going to create one for client. And we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 fields. And of course more. Oh, shoot, something else I forgot. Oh, I'll do it in client so that you see. Kuna fields huwa naongeza to just in case for future use. So we have said we are going to create migration and model at the same time. So you just do PHP artisan make model. Then the model will be called I like adding DB to it so that you differentiate this from controllers, because ukiunda client na kuna controller client, there will be a conflict. So kuna, by the way, okay, hakuna yenye client, but I just like adding DB. See must, but I just like adding DB. Ndio nijue that that whatever I'm doing, it's a database. Then I'll put hyphen, or except for the user, because user yeye inajitengenezeanga. So we make sure you don't create a controller the name user. Then I add hyphen m. The hyphen m means migration. So it will make a model and it will make a migration. That is the option. Yenye nimefanya kwanza sikuweka hyphen m because there's already a migration. So if I do this, I'll just click and it will go ahead and it will create for me two things. One, there is a migration hapa. How we may number, achana nayo, wewe uko interested na hii. So this is a table. I'll come and add fields hapa katikati. ID nilikwambia ni primary inakuingianga yenyewe. Timestamp ni hiyo created data and updated data. Then the model is here under this folder before me delete imerudisha into model. It's here. You can see it doesn't look like this one. Yeah, this one is blank. Okay, so let's go to our migration. Let's go and add our tables. You don't have to cram anything here. You can always easily, quickly just copy paste. I'm just going to copy paste kama hii. So what is the first field here? The file is the f name and location. So can I have two screens? I think I can. Chini yake iko kadogo. Good. Good. Hapa vitu iko still visible. So I can see and do it at the same time. So this first one is client name. So it's full name. So it just write it as f name. Is it nullable? Hapana. And usijali hizi vitu hazita affect kitu yote huko mbele. So and then the next one is location. I'll call it log. Tumesema majina fupi fupi ndio better for our sake and for the sake of the system. Then phone, I'll just call it phone. Location, I can have it nullable. Unaweza kuwa na client mwenye hataki iwekwe, so instead of writing not applicable every time, you can just let it be blank. Kuna phone nullable. Kuna gender huko umenipatia but niliongeza tu just for future use. I'll call it Jen. Kwa users nilita aje? Nilita Jen. I'll just call it Jen. Acha nifungie migration zingine. Which other one? Gender, we have email. Email hapa zinaweza fanana, so si lazima hapa ikuwe unique. What else? What else? Email. House size, so naandika tu H size. I think these are the number of people, kids inside the house or something. House size alafu niache. Acha niipe default value of 0. So in case someone doesn't put anything, it will just become 0. So just say 0. 0 like that. Then you can realize I'm just maintaining string as my data type, because if you use string, it's very easy for me to work with either. I can work with numbers, with text, all at the same time. But if I, for example, for number nikiweka float ama niweke integer, anytime I want to do plus 254, sitaweza kuweka hiyo plus, because plus is not a number and float and integer are numbers. So I just leave it as string. It gives me much power and more grip on whatever I'm doing than limiting myself. So string is more like a universal thing. Most things that I'm putting nullable is just, it doesn't mean they'll be null or they'll be blank. I'm just saying in case sitaki kufill kitu ama shida yote itokee mahali, wacha zikuwe null, isikuwe inanipea error. Otherwise, if every field for you is required and you don't fill it kwa front end, ukituma kwa database itakurushia error 503. Yeah, and you will not understand what's wrong. And to come and change that after you've completed the system, it's a lot of things. Number of people, I'm just going to call them people. And uta notice zile fields mbili nikreatia, I didn't timestamp, na ziacha zikuwe beginning and end. Then zangu naweka hapa katikati. So siache timestamp ikuwe ya kwanza ama ya pili. It doesn't really mean anything, but it's just a good programming practice. Phone. House size nilikuwa nishaweka phone before. So hii acha niandike ikuwe kama GID ni girl ID. Once atapata msichana, hiyo msichana tutachukua ID, itakuwa ina save detail ya msichana. Hii ID ita link clans table na girls table, so that in case mtu achukue msichana, it's easy to link up for things like placement. Then yeah, field ya status pia I need to add it, so I think I need to add it somewhere also here. It's usually good. Haina kazi sahi, but let me just put it there. Which other one? The number of girls. Kuna moja nimeruka. Number of people kwa nyumba. So I just call it NumP. NumP, number of people in the house. Nullable. No, this one I can also have a default of 0. Default 0. Then number of people, number of girls. Nimeweka kweli? Nope. Number of girls, I'll call it just num_g. So number of people in the house is num_p, number of girls is num_g. So hii number of girls huku umenipea, mimi niliongeza so that in case akuja afanyiwe placement ama achukue mwingine, itashinda ikijiongeza. So default, I'll also give it a default of 0. So that ukitaka kujua huyu mtu amekuwa na wasichana wangapi for the last 2 years, you don't have to calculate. System yenyewe inakuandikia. Like you just look. Unaangalia tu unaona huyu msee amekuwa na wasichana 6 for the last 2 years. Kitu kaa hiyo. Ama huyu amekuwa na msichana tu mmoja pekee and stuff like that. Ama huyu ni client wenu but hajawahi chukua msichana huko, anapiga tu ma interviews na anakwama huko. Yeah. So num_p for number of people in the house, num_p for num_g for the number of girls. Pay, because you told me there's some amount of money they pay. So once they pay, we can do something to that, either saying paid or something. Then kuna uniform, kama atachukua uniform, I just call it uni. Then what else? Interview, in case a book interview ama vitu kaa hiyo, ama appointment, I'll add appointment here. Points. Hii natumia tu just to give myself a picture. So this one is not part of what we're doing. Hii ni ya kuangalia tu. Whatever we're doing is over here. So unaona hii int ina conflict na MySQL name inatumianga for integer na pia inaitanga int. So this will give us an error. So I'll just call it inter. So then the last field for clients, it's appointment. So I'll just call it up. In case of book appointment, I'll know what to do in that field. Good. Now, kuna any other field kweli? Pana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Iko sawa. Good. So I'm going to add 10 extra fields. And I'll be like, what? 10? I just call a ELPO-TECH for another field or other field. Hizi hatutazitumia sahi, but in case tuhitaji kuongeza kitu, hatukuji kuanza kuedit hizi vitu because it usually takes time. So I'll create from 1 to 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5. My autocomplete works well for me. And they're nullable. And I'll do the same I'll do this to immigration ingine ya users pia. I kind of forgot. Remember token. So hii niweke after nini? Acha niweke after hapa. Acha niweke after email because hizi zingine acha tuniweke hapa. After password actually. So pia nimeongeza. So hii ziko na hiyo. So these are 10 extra fields. In case kuna kitu tujaweka, tulisahau, inakuwa easier kukua nazo. Yeah. This one is your safety of future. I also call it for future increment. Then video imekuwa mrefu. So this is the migration. I'll go ahead and do protected fillable hapa. So this one already is doing for me. Make sure they're all here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Good. and F1, F other to 10. Then something else here I'll add this option for this one. Instead of saying protected table, I can say public table. That should be okay. And so this is the table name. You can check this one in migration. That's the same table name. Then I can also add use as factory. And if I'm using this, I need to say use this. So you make sure every of your table has that. Then to create relationship and to create hapo chini. Once you are through all those tables, I'll show you how to add the relationship. So that is one table I've added. This is the migration with all the fields. Then this is the model of the same table with all the fields, and make sure you have these two here, protected and fillable. Yes, like that. Now once we're done with that, you can see my database Zaria. It doesn't have that table. The beer users to be modified, so I'll just go ahead and like change something for it. Okay, I'll delete this one, and please don't delete it the way I'm doing it. I'm just doing this, and then I come to migration. Then I also delete. I'll actually delete all this migration. Let me just remove the entire database and put it again. If you need to ask me why I'm doing that, you can actually ask me. I'm just doing that because I want to migrate it again. Zari is down here. Just click on it. Say drop. It doesn't have any content, so no worries. Once it's big, I won't be able to do this. Find other ways. Okay, so I'll go back to my terminal. I'll just do PHP and migrate. I've already deleted the table, so it's asking me if I want to create another one. So I just go ahead and say yes. And it will create for us up to client DB, the one I've just made. So I come here, refresh it again. Yeah, it's back, it's here, and you can see my client table is here with all the fields I've created. Hizi ndio nimeweka. Then users pia kuna zote including hizo nimeongeza ma f other 1 up to f other 10. Yep. If you want to look at how it made them, you can just check here. And please don't edit, so that you have the same things. Yeah. So that is the second table. So I'll go ahead and do the same for girls. What do you pick it? This third table here. So I'll go ahead and do the same for girls and placement and the other. I wanted to do that all by myself, but because he said you wanted me to give you something. Plus nilikuwa nishazifanya, I just undid. I undid the changes and went back to where you are. So you can go ahead and add these other ones. Hii file nimeinclude kwa nikipush utaipata under public, I think. Come to public folder, it's here. It's called Zaria database txt. Hata wewe ukicreate zako utakuwa unakuja unaziada hapa chini. Utakuwa unakuja unaada hapa chini. So mimi nimeongeza hii kwa hapo. Nimeongeza hii kwa hapo. Wewe ongeza hii and the rest. And also just remember to be adding these ones. Nitakuwa nikiangalia, so you can do one, you push, do one, you push. As you check. So let me push these changes again. So I just call it migrations. DB migrations. DB migrations. So because this video is very long, I'm going to cut it here. Yeah, so that is all about migrations, but I'll still come back to this. Please, if you've not understood, just tell me, I do another video, because you have a number of tables. So for now, they're just these two. Yeah, so for now, I'll close it here. I'll make another video just to show you how I add things to database now, just for your look, and we can see how it goes.